There comes a moment in every person's life when they look at where they are and quietly admit something they've been afraid to say out loud. I thought I'd be further by now. It's a heavy sentence, a private sentence, a sentence you whisper only to yourself, late at night, on a long drive, or in the split second when the noise around you fades. Because deep down, you know it's not that you lack intelligence. It's not that you lack talent. It's not even that you lack opportunity. It's your mindset. Your mind has been pulling the strings of your life quietly, invisibly, relentlessly, guiding your actions, shaping your patterns, filtering what you believe you deserve. And here's the painful truth. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your mindset. Welcome to Master Your Mindset, How to Get What You Truly Deserve. In this audiobook, you will learn the internal blueprint of people who win, not because they are special, not because they are lucky, but because they have mastered the one thing they can control fully, their inner world. Within these 6 parts, spanning 10 chapters, you will discover how to reprogram the beliefs that limit your potential, why you sabotage yourself without realizing it, how to shift from a survival mindset to a creation mindset, how winners think differently about opportunity, failure, and pressure, how to turn your mind into a magnet for discipline, clarity, and results, how to build a mental environment that attracts wealth, success, and direction, how to craft the identity you need to achieve the life you want. This audiobook blends psychology, practical strategy, emotional intelligence, neuroscience, and global storytelling, giving you a lens into the mindset of those who rise and stay risen. And before we step forward, let me give you the punchline that will echo through every chapter that follows. Your life changes the moment you decide your mind is worth mastering. That's the moment where everything shifts. Not when you get the job, not when you find the right opportunity, not when someone else validates you. Life shifts when the way you think shifts. So let's begin this journey. Let's step into the mind you were always meant to command. Let's step into Chapter 1, The Beliefs That Shape Your Life. Chapter 1, The Beliefs That Shape Your Life. Dear friend, you are definitely on the right track if you are watching this video. Like, subscribe, and write in the comments which topic or problem concerns you the most. We promise to prepare a professional video explanation at your request. Every action you take, every risk you avoid, every habit you repeat, every opportunity you reject, they all stem from the same source: your beliefs. Your beliefs are the architects of your behavior. They sit in the background of your mind like invisible software, running the same loops, the same patterns, the same emotional responses. Most people don't question their beliefs. They simply live inside them. They repeat them. They defend them. But here's the question no one ever asks you directly. Who installed your beliefs? Think about that. Really think about it. Did you choose your mindset, or did you inherit it? From your parents, your culture, your failures, your insecurities, your past relationships, your childhood environment, your teachers, your experiences. Most of your beliefs were not consciously chosen. They were absorbed, adopted, layered into your mind before you even had the power to question them. And now, as an adult, your life is being shaped by thoughts that don't even belong to you. This is why mindset mastery matters. Because until you change the beliefs you inherited, you will repeat the results you don't want. Look around your life right now. Your level of confidence, your financial situation, your discipline, your boundaries, your relationships, your habits, they are all reflections of your internal belief system. You can't outperform your mindset. You can't escape your self-image. You can't build a life that contradicts what you believe you deserve. It's like trying to run new software on an old operating system. The system will crash every time. Mindset is your operating system, and winners know this. They know mindset comes before action. Clarity comes before execution. Identity comes before achievement. That's why your first step in mastering your mindset is identifying the beliefs quietly controlling your life. Let me show you the 3 most dangerous. 1. The belief of unworthiness. This is the internal whisper that says, I'm not enough. I don't deserve more. People like me don't succeed like that. I should be grateful for what I have and never ask for more. This belief quietly sabotages opportunities before you even take them. 2. The belief of limitation. This one sounds like, I'm not talented enough. It's too late for me. I'll never get out of this situation. That kind of life isn't realistic. Limitation is learned, and anything learned can be unlearned. 3. The belief of helplessness. This is the mindset of people who have forgotten their power. Nothing I do will change anything. It's pointless to try. The system is rigged anyway. Helplessness is dangerous because it eliminates action, and action is how life changes. Here's the truth most people never hear. Your mind is not broken, it's programmed, and any program can be rewritten. To rewrite your mindset, you must understand the forces shaping it. This brings us to a powerful, revealing truth. Your beliefs were shaped by your experiences, but they don't have to define your future. This is where the transformation begins, because the moment you see your beliefs clearly, you no longer drown in them. You rise above them. You begin to question them. You begin to choose them consciously. And in Chapter 2, you will learn how to dismantle the mental patterns that have been limiting your life without your permission. We're about to enter the next layer of mindset mastery, the realm of reprogramming. Chapter 2. Reprogramming the patterns that hold you back. Your mind is powerful, but it is also predictable. It repeats whatever is familiar, even when familiar is painful. This is why people stay in cycles they want to escape. They want new results, but their mind keeps dragging them back to old patterns, old habits, old fears, old identities. Your mindset is a loop built from the past, a loop strengthened by repetition, a loop your brain thinks is safe, even if it's ruining your potential. And the most dangerous loops are the ones you don't even realize you're living inside. Let's expose them, because you cannot master what you cannot see. And once you see the pattern, you gain the power to break it. Here are the 4 patterns that silently imprison your growth. 1. The pattern of emotional memory. Your brain stores emotional experiences more intensely than factual ones. Meaning, one embarrassing moment at 14 can still influence your confidence at 34. One failure 10 years ago can still create hesitation today. One person who doubted you can still echo in your mind every time you aim higher. Your brain holds on to these memories, not to punish you, but to protect you. But protection becomes limitation when you let old memories define your new possibilities. You are not your past patterns unless you keep reliving them. 2. The pattern of comfortable pain. This is the strange paradox of the mind. It would rather stay in familiar discomfort than enter unfamiliar improvement. Your brain thinks, at least I know this pain. At least I know this routine. At least I know this version of me. So you stay in jobs that drain you, relationships that limit you, habits that weaken you, routines that numb you, not because you want them, but because they feel familiar. Winners break this pattern by choosing discomfort that leads to growth over comfort that leads to stagnation. 3. The pattern of self-protection. Your mind is wired for survival, not success. It protects your ego by avoiding risk, avoiding judgment, avoiding exposure, avoiding failure. But here's the irony. Success requires everything your ego avoids. Winners aren't fearless. They just stop treating fear as a stop sign. 4. The pattern of identity attachment. Your mind loves consistency. It will fight to stay aligned with who you believe you are, even if who you believe you are is outdated, limited, or untrue. If you see yourself as, I'm not disciplined, I'm not someone who finishes things, I'm not confident, I'm not the type who succeeds, I'm not good with money, I'm not a winner, your brain will subconsciously act in ways that prove these beliefs true. Identity is the strongest force in human behavior, but identity is also editable. You can rewrite it, rebuild it, re-choose it. Your identity is not permanent, it's practiced. So how do you reprogram your mind to break these patterns and rise above them? The answer lies in one powerful psychological truth. Your mind learns from repetition, so you must repeatedly feed it the thoughts of the person you want to become. This is how winners think. This is how success is built. This is how you rise out of the mindset you inherited and step into the mindset you choose. Reprogramming begins with awareness, but transformation begins with repetition. And now, we step into the next phase, the inner architecture of the winning mind. Welcome to Chapter 3, How Winners Think Differently. Chapter 3, How Winners Think Differently. There are people in this world who walk into a room and instantly stand out. Not because they speak loudly, not because they brag, not because they force attention, but because their mindset carries a different energy. They think differently. They move differently. They choose differently. Their presence feels intentional, focused, calm, certain. These are the people who succeed consistently, not because life is easier for them, but because their mindset is stronger than their circumstances. You can feel when someone has a winning mind. It shapes the way they speak, the opportunities they see, the way they handle difficulty, the way they set standards, the way they interpret setbacks, the way they restart after failure. Winners don't just act differently, they think differently. Let's break down the mindset traits that separate them from the rest. 1. Winners think in possibility, not limitation. Most people start with, what if it doesn't work? Winners start with, what if it does? This shift alone changes destiny. The average person sees obstacles, the winner sees options. The average person sees excuses. The winner sees strategy. The average person sees failure as the end. The winner sees failure as data. Your mind will follow whatever lens you choose to look through. Possibility expands your life. Limitation shrinks it. 2. Winners believe they deserve more. Not because they're arrogant, not because they're entitled, but because they understand something most people don't. Life doesn't give you what you want. Life gives you what you think you deserve. If you believe you deserve abundance, you'll take actions that lead to abundance. If you believe you deserve meaningful relationships, you'll reject the ones that waste your time. If you believe you deserve success, you'll do the work required to achieve it. Deserving is not ego. Deserving is alignment. 3. Winners think in long-term identity, not short-term emotion. Average thinkers act based on how they feel. Winners act based on who they want to become. Examples. I'm tired, so I won't do it. vs. I'm tired, but I'll do it anyway, because I'm the kind of person who follows through. I don't feel confident. vs. I'll act confidently until confidence grows. I don't feel motivated. vs. I don't need motivation to act. I need consistency. Emotion leads average people. Identity leads winners. 4. Winners use pressure as a catalyst, not a cage friend. Write your opinion on this topic in the comments. Do you agree with us or not? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Pressure breaks people who aren't prepared, but winners use pressure as a sharpening tool. Pressure reveals where you're weak so you can strengthen it. Pressure reveals what you avoid so you can confront it. Pressure reveals how far you've come and how far you're willing to go. Winners embrace pressure because pressure produces transformation. 5. Winners train their thoughts, not just their actions. Most people try to change their life by forcing new habits. Winners change their life by replacing old thoughts, because action is temporary if the mindset underneath it doesn't evolve. Thoughts, identity, identity, action, action, results, results, beliefs, beliefs, thoughts again. That loop determines your whole life. Winners break the loop and rebuild it intentionally. 6. Winners bet on themselves, even when no one else does. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for applause. They don't wait for someone to tell them they're ready. They move because they understand something deep. If you don't bet on yourself, you teach the world not to bet on you either. 7. Winners take responsibility, not blame. Winners don't blame the economy, the algorithm, the family they came from, the coworkers they dislike, the lack of support, the unfair boss. They say, "This is the situation. What can I control? How do I rise?" Responsibility creates power. Blame destroys it. Winners are powerful because they claim responsibility. These mindset traits aren't luck. They aren't natural. They aren't reserved for a chosen few. They are practiced. And now that you've learned how winners think, the next step is even more important. Learning how winners interpret failure. Because mastering your mindset means redefining what failure actually is. That's where we go next. And this is the chapter that changes the way you move through life forever. Chapter 4. The Mindset of Failure Proof. People. There are two kinds of people in this world: those who collapse when they fail, and those who transform when they fail. Those who see failure as a dead end, and those who see failure as a doorway. Those who crumble under pressure, and those who sharpen because of it. The difference isn't intelligence, it isn't upbringing, it isn't opportunity. The difference is mindset. Winners are not failure-free. They are failure-proof. They don't avoid failure. They've simply learned how to interpret it. And that interpretation changes everything. Let's explore how failure-proof people think. 1. They see failure as data, not identity. Most people make failure personal. I failed, so I'm not good enough. I failed, so I should quit. I failed, so I'm not meant for this. But winners think differently. I failed, so now I know what doesn't work. I failed, but I'm still in the game. I failed, so I'm now better informed. Failure becomes feedback, not judgment. When you remove identity from failure, failure loses its power to paralyze you. 2. They expect failure on the path to success. Average people think failure means stop. Winners think failure means continue. The biggest mistake most people make is assuming success should be smooth, effortless, linear, predictable. But winners know the path looks like this: try, adjust, try, learn, try, improve, try, grow, try, succeed. Failure isn't a detour. It's part of the map. 3. They don't fear embarrassment. This is one of the real mindsets that separates winners. They don't fear looking foolish. They don't fear starting small. They don't fear not being perfect. They understand that embarrassment is a phase, not a verdict. You must be willing to be bad at something long enough to become great at it. Most people never reach greatness because they're too afraid to look like beginners. Winners embrace the beginner phase because they know it is temporary. 4. They don't attach emotion to setbacks. Emotion distorts interpretation. When you take failure personally, your emotions hijack your clarity. Failure-proof people stay emotionally neutral. What happened? What can I learn? What needs adjusting? What's the next step? Emotion clouds strategy. Clarity creates momentum. 5. They understand the value of repetition. This is a truth winners know. Consistency outperforms intensity. One person tries intensely for 5 days and quits. Another tries consistently for 50 days and succeeds. Momentum is built through repetition, not random bursts of effort. Repetition builds mastery. Repetition rewires identity. Repetition builds skill. Repetition creates inevitability. Winners don't try once, they try until. 6. They see failure as proof of movement. Failure means you're in the arena. Failure means you're trying. Failure means you're challenging your comfort. Failure means you're taking risks. Winners know. The only people who don't fail are the people who aren't moving. Failure, motion. And motion is how you transform your life. 7. They use failure to strengthen identity. Winners don't say, This didn't work. They say, I'm the kind of person who keeps going. Every failure becomes a vote for their identity of resilience. Every setback becomes confirmation that they are unbreakable. Failure shapes them, not into victims, but into champions. Failure-proof people don't have fewer failures. They just have different interpretations. And the moment you adopt this mindset, you stop fearing failure and start using it as fuel. Now, we shift from failure into something even more powerful: vision. Because mindset mastery requires direction. Without a vision, your mind has nowhere to go. Without intention, your power has no focus. This brings us to Chapter 5, Creating a Mindset that Naturally Attracts Success. Chapter 5, The Mindset that Attracts Success. There is a reason certain people seem to move through life with momentum. A reason opportunities find them. A reason clarity becomes their default. A reason they attract relationships, resources, and results. It's not law of attraction in the mystical sense. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's the mindset they carry, the frequency of their thinking, the standards they live by, the identity they embody, the decisions they repeatedly make. Let's break down the success-attracting mindset. 1. Clear priorities, clear life. Most people have vague goals. I want to be successful. I want more money. I want better relationships. Vague desires create vague results. Winners have clarity. This is what I'm building. These are the skills I will develop. These are the habits I will master. These are the standards I refuse to drop. Clarity creates momentum. Momentum creates opportunity. 2. Thinking in causes, not effects. Average people focus on outcomes. I want the income. I want the lifestyle. I want the recognition. Winners focus on causes. What habits create income? What systems create consistency? What internal work creates confidence? They think like architects. They build from the foundation up. 3. Alignment over motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but alignment is sustainable. Winners align their habits, routines, environment, friends, energy, daily actions with the person they are becoming. They don't rely on motivation, they build alignment. 4. Abundance mindset. Over scarcity mindset. Scarcity says, there's not enough, so I must shrink. I must take before someone else does. I must protect what I have. Abundance says, there's more than enough, but I must grow to receive it. I can improve. I can create. I can elevate. Abundance is not about money. It's about possibility. 5. Standards that match the life you want. Success is not just what you do. It's what you refuse to tolerate. Winners have standards. For their health, for their relationships, for their work ethic, for their communication, for their boundaries, for their environment. They do not negotiate their standards just to fit into average spaces. Standards create identity. Identity creates destiny. 6. Focus on internal wealth first. Before winners chase money, they build discipline, clarity, emotional strength, self-respect, confidence, consistency, self-awareness. Internal wealth attracts external wealth. You become valuable by becoming valuable. 7. Movement. Over perfection. Success doesn't chase the perfect person. It chases the person who moves. Winners don't overthink. They don't wait for perfect timing. They don't search for the perfect plan. They move, adjust, learn, and keep moving. Success follows motion. You are now beginning to think differently, feel differently, interpret differently. This is the beginning of your internal shift. But now we reach the turning point, the moment where mindset becomes transformation, where theory becomes embodiment, where desire becomes identity. Chapter 6. Identity. The root of all mindset. Your mindset is powerful. Your habits are powerful. Your beliefs are powerful. Your thoughts are powerful, but they all orbit around one central force: your identity. Identity is not who you are. Identity is who you believe you are. Identity shapes behavior effortlessly. Identity makes discipline automatic. Identity makes success natural. Identity makes growth inevitable. You don't rise to your goals, you rise to your identity. You don't force habits. You become the type of person who naturally performs them. You don't chase results. You become the type of person who attracts them. Identity is the thermostat of your life. No matter how high you turn up your goals, your life will return to the setting of your identity unless you change the setting itself. So the question becomes, who do you believe you are? And more importantly, who do you want to become? Let's break down identity in a way most people never consider. 1. Identity is built from repeated thought patterns. If you think, "I'm undisciplined," you reinforce that identity every time you repeat it. If you think, "I'm not the type who becomes wealthy," you block the action steps required to build wealth. If you think, "I'm not confident," your brain will interpret every social situation through a lens of insecurity. Thoughts are not harmless. Thoughts are builders. Every repeated thought becomes a brick in the identity you live inside. 2. Identity shapes what you believe you deserve. A person with a low self-worth identity rejects opportunities, accepts toxic relationships, allows disrespect, settles for less, not because they have to, because their identity tells them that's all they deserve. A person with a growth identity sets boundaries, raises standards, takes healthy risks, chooses environments that support them. The difference isn't luck, it's identity. 3. Identity makes certain behaviors inevitable. Most people rely on motivation, but winners rely on identity, because identity-driven habits don't require motivation. A disciplined person doesn't need motivation to be disciplined. A confident person doesn't need motivation to speak confidently. A healthy person doesn't need motivation to make healthy choices. A winner doesn't need motivation to take action. Identity makes the behavior automatic. 4. Identity can be rebuilt at any time. You are not stuck with the identity you inherited. You are not stuck with the identity shaped by failures. You are not stuck with the identity created by childhood patterns. Identity is fluid. Identity is moldable. Identity is a choice. But the rebuilding must be intentional. Let's explore how. 5. Identity changes through repetition, not inspiration. Most people try to adopt a new identity by saying it once, "I'm disciplined now. I'm confident now. I'm different now." But identity doesn't change through declaration. Identity changes through repetition. You build identity through tiny repeated actions. One workout, one honest conversation, one disciplined morning, 1 hour of focus, one boundary set, one task finished, one fear faced. Small actions repeated daily rewrite identity. Identity is a mirror, and daily action is what reshapes the reflection. 6. Identity thrives on evidence. Your mind doesn't believe what you say. It believes what you do. So give it evidence. I am disciplined. Look at my consistency. I am confident. Look at how I showed up. I am focused. Look at my attention. I am becoming successful. Look at my momentum. Identity grows every time you provide evidence. But now that you understand identity, we go deeper, into the mental shift that turns average minds into unstoppable ones. This shift is something 99% of people never make, because it requires inner courage. You must stop thinking like a survivor and start thinking like a creator. Welcome to Chapter 7. Chapter 7. From Survival Mindset to Creation Mindset. If you appreciate our efforts and our thoughts, subscribe and like this video. We need to show the world that there are many people like us. We must always continue to improve. Most people live in survival mode without realizing it. Their thoughts revolve around avoiding danger, avoiding mistakes, avoiding embarrassment, avoiding risk, avoiding pain. This is the survival mindset. a mindset built to protect you, not elevate you. But here's the truth. The survival mindset keeps you alive, but it doesn't help you live. To rise to your potential, you must shift into the creation mindset. The creation mindset is the mindset of people who win, because instead of thinking about what to avoid, they think about what to build. Instead of thinking about what they fear, they think about what they want to create. Let's break this down. 1. Survivors focus on problems. Creators focus on possibilities. Survivors ask, what if everything goes wrong? Creators ask, what if this goes right? Your focus determines your direction. Your direction determines your life. 2. Survivors react. Creators respond. Survivors act emotionally. Creators act intentionally. Survivors panic. Creators pause. Survivors avoid challenges. Creators analyze them. Reacting is instinct. Responding is mastery. 3. Survivors wait for permission. Creators build without it. Survival mode makes you timid. Creation mode makes you powerful. Survivors believe they need approval, clarity, confidence, support, perfect timing. Creators move without waiting for any of these. Movement builds clarity. Movement builds confidence. Movement builds momentum. Permission is not given, it's claimed. 4. Survivors fear failure. Creators expect it. In survival mode, failure is a threat. In creation mode, failure is part of the blueprint. Creators don't collapse at the first setback. They adjust their strategy and continue building. 5. Survivors protect their ego. Creators expand their identity. Survivors hide their weaknesses. Creators confront them. Survivors defend their limitations. Creators dissolve them. Survivors avoid growth. Creators seek it out. You cannot create a new life while clinging to an old identity. 6. Survivors conserve energy. Creators invest it. Survival mode is about safety. Creation mode is about expansion. Survivors ask, how do I stay comfortable? Creators ask, how do I grow stronger? Comfort shrinks you. Investment transforms you. 7. Survivors think small. Creators think beyond. The survival mindset says, just get by. Just endure. Just hope things get easier. The creation mindset says, what can I build with the time I have? What can I create with the skills I'm developing? What can I become through disciplined action? This shift changes the trajectory of your entire life. Because survival keeps you trapped in the past. Creation pulls you into the future. Right now, you are stepping out of the mindset you absorbed and stepping into the mindset you choose. But to solidify this shift, you need one more transformation. You must master your inner world so deeply that external chaos can't shake you. This is where we go next, into emotional mastery. And if this audiobook spoke to you, if it lit something inside you, if it helped you shift even one belief, hit like as your commitment to leveling up. Share in the comments the line that hit you hardest. Subscribe to stay on this journey of growth, discipline, self-awareness, and mental mastery. And share this with someone whose potential is bigger than their current mindset. Finally, tell me, what topic should the next full audiobook explore?